Evening from Area 51 Raceway. Let's talk about some storage stuff for your small slot car parts. Come join us. Hey, good evening from Area 51 Raceway. We've got a little late night video here, and what I wanted to go over was just storage of your slot car parts. So this is what I use to kind of organize everything when I'm building, cars, and then you get into where you need, parts that you start using it over and over again for your, scratch build stuff. And so as example, you can see the wall is covered in wheels from CB Design. So it's good to have a little bit of wheels, stored there for the certain cars that I build. And you see axles and stuff. Now the smaller parts are the ones that you really got to watch for, because they become very tedious. And if you have a carpet like I do here in this room, when you fall on the carpet, you really have a hard time looking for this stuff. And then it's really like kind of mind-boggling. You drop a washer or something, or a little screw, and then you have to kind of dig in the abyss. But going back to storage here, besides running into those follies, these are from Slot Car Corner, and these are excellent. They're little trays that open out with little doors that you could store stuff in. Now I keep my little, clips from my guides where I solder the lead wire onto in here. And you can see I got some pinion gears. These are 9-tooth pinion gears. And I have 2 10s, which I don't use too much. And I got some 8s right here. This is great to keep little parts in. And of course I have the guide, guide nut, some other style guide nuts. The thick washers that come with the guide when you get a commercial one. And then you have screws for like panhead screws for the motor, to mount the motor onto your motor bracket. And these body screws, I can't remember where I got them from, but they're real small, so I don't have a number for them, so I have them in there. And then I have the eyelets for the screws for the Slotting Plus guide. So these are nice little storage containers. They're from Kubrick. I think if I said it right, God, I hope I did. It's Kubrick, I believe. They are available at Slot Car Corner. They're like $8. But they're really nice to have. And I had to organize my washers for 1/8 inch, spacers. Not washers, but spacers. I had to kind of these were mixed up, and I had to get my, my micrometer and my caliper, not micrometer, my caliper, and see what thickness they were, and then organize them. So it's nice to have something like this, so you could see you have, this is 10 thousandths, 1/8, 20 thousandths, and then 4 thousandths. So if you need to fiddle with, axle, how far you want the axle stick out and so forth. And again, like I said, these are really nice. And they do, Slot Car Corner does have some nice axle spacers that are great, as these are color coded. And this is when I started using these, when I saw Harry had these storage cases, and then he had a different colored axle spacers, and I was thinking, wow, that's cool. 60 thousandths is, like the greenish. You have 50 thousandths for purple, 40 for red, 30 is like a darker blue, and then 20 thousandths for yellow, and then 10 is clear. So it's really nice to have. I do also keep my my bushings in here. So this for 1/8 inch axles and for 3/32 axles for my scratch builds. So again, really nice thing to have. Now here's another thing you can do also, if you go to Walmart, and Walmart does have a lot of stuff. Now in their department where they're arts and crafts, they have bead storage stuff. And this is mainly for beads. Like if you have beads and you're making, whatever they do, I don't know much about it. But these are really nice. As you can see, very contained. And they're separate compartments. So these are 10 thousandths guide spacers for slotting plus. You know, guides are just the smaller, you know, whatever guide you have, the size of this is in the shaft, which is usually slotting plus. And here's, this comes right off, and it's kind of nice to have. And then what's also cool is you remove this, and it opens the second part of it, and it keeps this contained. So these are really nice to have. And of course, I have a little label maker, and I label the, you know, label the top, and then I'll label the sides, just like these body screws. These are from NSR, and I put the NSR number. So 4834 is these screws, or actually they're 4834, because I got body screws up here. And then you have 4836, 4837. So I got them marked, and I even have the slot car corner for the Carrera body right here. These screws for it, and then these are actually the slotted Ferrari ones, which I haven't put on yet. And then again, here's great for like so your when you have your little tiny grub screws, and this is awesome, and it really keeps it contained, so you can't, you know, worry about anything spilling out unless you open something. And then I have you know, my grub screws here, and these are the M2 by 2 millimeter, and then I have the M2 by 2.5. So it's nice to have something like this. And this is again from Walmart. You can find these. They're not very expensive. I think they're like $2 or $3. It's a good storage option. Another thing also you could do is like buy something like this to store, you know, if you have some wheels or tires. I do have some tires that I have up there. As you can see, I have something here, the slotting plus with the guide tube on here, so I got it in here. I have more stuff I plan on doing here later on, but this is a nice alternative if you want to keep, you know, if you want to keep some of this stuff in there, you could do that also. This is only like $4, $5, so it's not really expensive. There's a lot of different sizes Walmart offers in this, and again, it's a bead organizer, obviously, as you can see, or it's some type of organizer here for buttons or whatnot. You could beads in here if you want, but really good alternatives to keeping stuff kind of contained and stored. I'm more of a person that likes to keep things neat. The shop I work at, I like to keep my tools organized and stuff, and make sure when I'm doing a job and I'm working on a piece of equipment, everything's neat and clean, and you know, it's cleaned up after I make a mess as well. And as you can see, I have all my stuff pinned on here because I can kind of visually see what I have. So like the 1650 wheels is the common one that I use for my scratchables for like a modified, or if a car where a model has wheel inserts that get printed into. This is a real common one that I use. And then you have the 0690, which is the Steely wheels, 124 classic, you know, steel wheels and 332nd size. And then also I got down here the smaller ones for the 132nd build. So it's something I like to keep organized. And as you can see, I have my axles, and you know, just kind of use these. What these are the command strip stuff, because I didn't really want to put a bunch of holes in this, because this is essentially a closet, and I don't want to really mar everything and kind of have to fill it on later. Those will just peel off and just paint over if they just tear a little bit of the paint. But this is, you know, this keeps everything a little bit more organized, and in a way you could keep everything, you know, kind of nice and done, so it looks neat. And then over here, this is from Walmart also, and that's just 2 screws that I mounted on the wall, which I did do, put 2 holes in the wall, and then I mounted on there. And then I keep stuff in here like for my axles that I haven't used, or I have like where my, you know, I'm doing my work, like here's the body screw drill bits I use with the pin vise, and then I have some stuff stored here like mortar brackets, stuff that I can't really, you know, gears, that some stuff that I already pulled that I can't hang, some motors, stuff like that. But this is basically kind of talking about storage and keeping things organized so you don't have everything spill out all over the place, because these little parts will go everywhere, and then you'll really have a really hard time looking for stuff, you know. So it's nice to have these silicone mats. And this table here is from Amazon, and it's a short enough table in width that I could keep this and shut this closet and still have room, but it's long enough to also have all my other stuff, like my tire truer over here, the 2 tire truers, and you know, more room over there to true tires. I could keep it out of the way. And then a label maker is good also to have, so you can make small labels like this to put on these ones. So it tells you 10 thousandths. So that's about it. I just wanted to go over just storage and how you could just kind of keep things organized. But so that's it from Area 51 Raceway. Just some little piece of advice if anybody's interested in these bead things, you know, that hold beads, but you use it to hold small slot car parts, especially like grub screws, because these things are so tiny. You know, washers, because they could just, you know, go all over the place. And these little storage containers are great too. Really nice to have. So that's it from Area 51 Raceway. You guys, you take care, and as always, have fun racing.